Alright, so we're starting a new topic. We are solving systems of equations. So first we need to talk about what that means. So what is a system of equations? And so that means it's two or more equations that you're looking at. And it could be 3, it could be 4. We're going to focus on just 2 equations. And it can be any kind of equation. It could be a linear equation like what we've been doing. It could be a quadratic equation, which we'll get to. It could be any kind of equation. So a system of equations, that would be 2 or more equations. Okay, and then for our purposes, what is a system of equations? That's going to be 2 linear equations. Okay, and then next thing that's important is what does it mean to solve a system? Because that's what we're doing, that's what we're going to focus on. It means where do these lines intersect? Where do they cross? We want to figure out what value of x will give you the same value of y for both equations, and I'll explain that a little bit more. But it's going to be where do these lines cross? Okay, which means find the intersection of these 2 lines, and we're going to write our answer as a coordinate point because they're going to cross in exactly one spot for our systems of equations where it's going to be 2 linear equations. So I'm going to do some examples. Okay, so I've got this one, solve y equals 3x plus 2 and y equals x minus 2. So I'm going to figure out where do these lines cross. So I'm going to do this by graphing. That is what we're doing this week. There are other ways to solve, but we're going to focus on graphing this week. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. So remember how to graph. 3x plus 2, I got to draw the 2, and then my slope is 3. Alright, so that's my one equation, and then my second one goes through negative 2, and the slope is 1. Here. Okay. Alright, so that was kind of squiggly, but so what I'm looking for here is where they cross. So I'm going to draw a dot where they cross, and then I'm going to write the coordinate of that point. This one is negative 2, negative 4. Just remember the x's go first in our coordinate point. This dot is where x is negative 2, and then the y part is negative 4. Okay, so that's it. That's how I solved that equation. I graphed it, and I looked and decided where did it cross. And sometimes they won't cross through an exact point, so you'll have to estimate, and that's where our other ways to solve will come in handy. Graphing is really good if it's precise like that. So let's try this one. So let me draw my axes. Alright, so remember how to graph. I'm going to go up to the 1, and then my negative 2/3 slope means go up 2 over 3 to the left. Okay. Then my other line goes through -3 on the y-axis. My 4/3 means go up 4 and over 3 to the right this time. Okay. Alright, so this one, I'm going to draw where did they cross. Draw a dot. Okay, so for these graphing a system of equations, you'll want to use a ruler. My lines are very squiggly. A ruler will definitely help, and make sure that you do what I did here, where you follow the slope out and draw a dot every time so that you make sure you're going through the right points. Because if you're off by a little bit, it's going to make your answer a little bit off. So here, this goes through, it looks like it goes through 2, 0. It looks like the x part is 2. That part looks pretty good. And the y part, it looks like it's 0. It's actually 2, -1/3. But my lines were a little bit ski-wampus, and -1/3 is really hard to get from a graph. So I'm good if you just estimate it like this. It looks like it went through 2, 0, which is fine. We'll have ways to check it later. Okay, so now this one. Alright, so my first line goes through -1. My -1/2 means go up 1 over 2 to the left. Okay. Alright, and then my other one, x plus 2, goes through 2, and then it's a slope of 1. Alright, this one looks more precise. Okay, so it's going to go through this point right here, and it is -2, 0. Right. Okay, so that is solving a system by graphing. Just graph your 2 equations and find where they cross, and then the answer needs to be written as a coordinate point like this. You need the x part and the y part.